Steam is crammed with zombie games, clawing at your wallet, hungry for credit, howling for cash. But only a few are worth really digging into with a nice sharp axe. Join us while we shamble through the best of the dead. And remember, real survivor heroes always like and subscribe. Zombies can mark the moment when a series goes creatively bankrupt, but for Call of Duty, it's meant the opposite. All the best ideas in Black Ops 3 are stuffed up inside its zombies mode, like a lovely Sunday roast made with the finest human flesh. Shadows of Evil is the most polished take on the formula yet, and if Jeff Goldblum and Ron Perlman's voice work is anything to go by, the most expensive too. In a made-up American city of the 1940s, you'll need to gather components for a magic ritual, unless you happen to like the sound of The Last Day on Earth as designed by H.P. Lovecraft. DayZ might still be dragging itself through early access like a lurker minus a few limbs, but there's still plenty to remind you why everyone went mad for the mod back in the mists of... bear with us. Wikipedia says 2013. Of course, Churnerus was all fields back then. Now you can pick a greenhouse and run an allotment like a hard-as-nails OAP at the end of the world. Or you can live life on the road, squinting at strangers on the horizon. You'll feel like a character in a Cormac McCarthy novel, if Cormac McCarthy characters drank more soda than was strictly good for them. We interrupt your scheduled broadcast to recite one of our favourite passages from Techland's Dying Light press release. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Pre-order for exclusive Day 1 DLC. Dying Light's first hour is boring busywork cut from the same cloth as Dead Island, but then it lets you take that cloth, stuff it in a bottle, set it on fire, and chuck it at a crowd of undead. The map icons are scavenged from Ubisoft, the parkour is nicked from Mirror's Edge, but combined they form a brilliant vertical adventure through this overrun Turkish city. And yes, that was a crafting metaphor. Wouldn't be a shameless open world smash and grab without crafting. Zombies get scarier the closer they get, so in theory an isometric view should make it easier to keep your pants dry. As it turns out, oh god no. Don't try hitting the dead in Project Zomboid with something heavy. You're better off avoiding them through careful management and slow burn strategy. After umpteen updates, Zomboid still opens with the same message. This is how you died. This isn't going to end well, basically. But you can drag out the inevitable and feel pretty great while doing it, establishing a base and rebuilding your corner of rural America for as long as you can keep your organs on the inside. There are lots of janky zombie games on Steam, but this is the only one we're happy to forgive for its glitches. Yeah, it's frustrating to hear the machinery of State of Decay click and whir, but the dependable tick of those systems is what makes it worth playing. There's not much scripting here, instead you'll find a protagonist from your community of survivors and take them out into the wild to find food, fuel, drugs, or an untimely death. If they bite the dust, you'll go back to the base and pick another. You're left with lots of cool little stories to tell afterwards, though that's not much consolation to the people you've steered to early graves. Would you like to meet people and make friends, then have them cruelly ripped from you one body part at a time? Introducing Telltale's The Walking Dead. Like the best zombie fiction, it's not about the walkers. It's about human nature under some serious stress. About that, if you've got a stressful job, you're probably better off with Bejeweled. Trivia time. Social anxiety inspired the conversation timer, which forces you to fumble over the right words and then regret whatever comes out of your dumb mouth for hours, as it tears apart your fragile community limb by limb. Atom Zombie Smasher is one of the very few zombie games that goes for the big picture. You're in charge of a city's defense force and have to pile as many citizens onto the rescue copters as you can. The zombies are only pink pixels, but they can get pretty scary once they start swarming through your streets, gobbling innocent pixels as they go. Sometimes you'll have to be the bad guy. Every time you put up a blockade, you're trapping some of your own civvies on the wrong side. You're no survivor hero this time. You're the distant military dropping bombs on their heads. Dead pixels haunt our dreams. You can keep your fancy dynamic tessellation, global illumination and hero-based abilities. Left 4 Dead 2 has none of that, but like all Valve shooters, it's aged as gracefully as Gabe's beard. Even after 1 Vermintide and 2 Paydays, there's still nothing better, particularly in the undead department. You can argue that Left 4 Dead lost some of its simplicity the second time around by filling its armoury with fire axes, frying pans and twanging guitars, but you'd be arguing over the beautiful racket of the chainsaw and the combat shotgun, so why not just embrace the noise? And that's your lot. We're returning to the land of the living. If you liked our choices, shuffle down onto the comments and tell us about it.